well, every good road trip starts with coffee. Just grab my coffee and Breck and I are headed out. Today, we're gonna stay in California and we're gonna hit a few things right up the freeway. First stop is Dale Evans and Roy Rogers gravesite, something I've wanted to see for quite a while. Ah, Old Town Route 66. Wow, it looks like this old building has seen better days, wouldn't you say? Jeez. Breck and I are actually going to do this another time, but we're in the little town where the historic Route 66 museum is, and we just saw this death celebrities or this dead celebrity clothing and vintage store. It's not open right now though. Now we're actually going to stop here real quick because the museum's not open yet, but I want to stop and show you the mural on the side of this. Well, we are out here in Victorville and we are pretty much about 15-20 minutes away from our first stop of the day, technically what we're going to vlog, but I wanted to show you this. It's not open right now, but this is the Route 66 museum and the mural is pretty interesting. It's definitely worth checking out. What a slice of history. And like I said, it's too bad it's not open. We probably definitely want to go into it at some point, but we have a lot of things that we're going to do on this trip, and especially just today. Oh nice, check out this old Studebaker. Pretty good idea for a sign if you're going to have one. Yep, another time, friends, another time we'll do this. Brownie the railroad dog. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. Check that out. It says it's a guardrail post from Route 66. Alright, we're out of here. Way at the top of that rock formation, you can see there's a little cross up there. Not in LA anymore, that's for sure. Well, we've just entered Apple Valley, and the slogan for Apple Valley is a better way of life. Alright, we have arrived, and check out that statue of that ram over there. It's kind of out of the ordinary, but we're here. We're at the final resting place of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, King of the Cowboys. And you can see right in front of us, that's the Roy Rogers Dale Evans Sunset Chapel. Alright, supposedly the legend is over here. Well, here we are, the final resting place of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Known professionally by those names, but born Leonard Sly. And it's kind of interesting that Roy Rogers was actually born in my neck of the woods. He was actually born in Cincinnati, and when I was reading up on him, they said that where he was born is where the former Riverfront Stadium is, where I saw my very first Reds game. And they said that he used to joke and say that he was born on second base. So he was born and raised in Ohio, and they actually moved upriver to Portsmouth for a little while. And then the Great Depression hit, and he and his father got jobs working in the factories making shoes. And eventually his sister would get married and come out to California, and he and his father would come out for a visit, and just eventually decide they wanted to move out here because of how bad the Great Depression had hit Ohio. And he came out here, lived in Tulare, which is a couple hours north of Los Angeles, and actually was a peach picker for Del Monte. And his sister told him one day, she said, you know, you got a pretty good voice. Why don't you try and perform. There was a local radio show that were looking for performers, and so she made him his first Western shirt. He dressed up like a cowboy and he went and performed, and that actually was the start of pretty much his whole career. So through performing on that show and getting past his stage fright, they actually liked him enough to where they told him he should go out and start performing, and he formed a group. Actually was in a couple of groups, but one of them was called the Rocky Mountaineers, and they got a local radio show here in Los Angeles that would put them on one time a week, and that would end up developing into what would become known as the Sons of the Pioneers, which was a group that has pretty much never stopped touring ever since its foundation. Even now they still perform. None of the original members obviously are still alive, but Roy was performing with them, and because they were on that local radio show, they started getting popular and places all over the country wanted to see them, so they started touring. And when they came back, Roy was asked to, he wasn't known by Roy yet, he was still Leonard Sly there, and he was asked to be in a movie, and he actually was in a movie with Gene Autry, and in those days Gene Autry was like the singing cowboy. He was the only singing cowboy there was, and because he was so popular, he was starting to ask for a lot of money, and so the studios decided to have a contest looking for a new singing cowboy. Leonard Sly went and auditioned, won the contest, and got a contract with Republic Pictures, and they renamed him Roy Rogers, kind of off of the Will Rogers name. Roy became so popular with his radio show that he was doing movies and then eventually got his own TV show. Now, he was actually married during this time, and his wife and he, Grace, had a few kids, and unfortunately while she was in labor having one of their babies, she passed away. And it would be shortly thereafter, while Roy was off filming a movie, he would meet Dale Evans, who was the co-star of that movie, and they would fall in love, and they would start a whole new life together. Dale and Roy became known as philanthropists and just humanitarians. They went on to start adopting children. They believed heavily in adopting children and adopting animals, and bought a house and formed a ranch up in Chatsworth, and then one of their daughters died on a church bus coming back from a church work mission, and it just made them sad to be there, so they ended up moving out here to Apple Valley and bought a ranch that would later become known as the Double R Ranch, and they pretty much lived here until they both passed away. And of course, Roy Rogers was known for having his horse Trigger, who was originally, when he got Trigger, named Golden Cloud. But you might know Roy Rogers from the really famous song Happy Trails. He would always end his show by singing Happy Trails to You. And that was actually written by his wife right here, Dale Evans Rogers. Always wanted to come out and see this gravesite, and today Breck and I got to do it. It's a pretty nice little cemetery. The Cowboy's Prayer. Oh Lord, I reckon I'm not much just by myself. I failed to do a lot of things I ought to do, but Lord, when trails are steep and passes high, help me to ride it straight the whole way through. And when in the falling dusk I get to the final call, I do not care how many flowers they send. Above all else, the happiest trails would be for you to say to me, let's ride, my friend. Amen. We were here looking around for it, and then I turned around and I looked, I go, hey Breck, check this out. This guy right behind Roy Rogers was the Tombstone City Marshal. And then right here in front of their graves is a psalm for Dale. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. And they said that they were such philanthropists and humanitarians in this neck of the woods that many of the streets and buildings out here were named after them, and they donated quite a bit of money out here. What a great memory. And then that right over there says, "As the hearth panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God." Psalm 42:1. You probably noticed I'm wearing a different pair of sunglasses. I decided for this road trip I'm gonna wear this blue pair for the whole trip, and then I'll figure out something to do with them after the trip, and then whoever gets them will get all the adventures that we had on this trip. They will be part of these sunglasses. That says Happy Trails Highway, Route 18. Now where we're heading to is I want to go see this roadside attraction, something called Elmer's Bottle Ranch, and this guy named Elmer made a bunch of bottle trees on his property, and I want to go check it out with Breck. You know, one of the interesting things about Roy Rogers is he was smart enough when he started becoming popular that he signed a contract with Republic Pictures that he would get all the merchandising rights to his likeness, so he would eventually have action figures and all kinds of toys with his name on it. And then eventually even the Roy Rogers chain of restaurants, which he didn't really have anything to do with, he just kind of lent his name to it. Roadside America. Good old Route 66. Feels good to be on you. And the old windmills. Actually, I guess you'd say new windmills. Live train. I don't know what that is. That looks like freaking NASA's about to launch a rocket over there or something. Cool antique station. It looks like an old ghost town. It's not open though. Way cool. Oh, the old Mohawk gas station. Well, here we are, right literally off of Route 66 here in Barstow is Elmer's Bottle Ranch. Now Elmer supposedly traveled Route 66 his whole life growing up with his parents, and when his father died, his father left him hundreds of colored bottles, and he didn't really know what to do with it, so he went out and bought a welder, started putting together all these metal pieces and started welding them, and made over 200 bottle trees out here. So let's go take a look. This is gonna be great. Never seen this, but I've read about it online. Wow. Oh, look, payphone.
We can go in.
Yeah, come on in. I don't want to spend all day here, but I wanted to swing by and see it. Oh, look, there's Tigger. Oh, cool, look at the surfboards in there. Now I know this is not going to be for everybody, but I love this kind of stuff. Look at the bones hanging there. Oh, look, there's a Jeep. Parking meter. Oh, I love this kind of stuff. And this is actually one of the most written about attractions off of Route 66 is old Elmer's Bottle Ranch, so I'm glad that we stopped by to see it.
Let's see if it works.
Is that an old sewing machine? Hey, anybody hungry? Wow, look at the old Texaco gas pump. Look at that up there. Anybody want to stick their head through there?
Route 66 beer bottle.
Oh, headboard for a bed. Oh, shotgun. Take one what? Look at all this stuff. So cool. This is the reason that you travel Route 66. Actually, as we were kind of driving out here, I was telling Brooke, I'm like, we're just gonna have to one day come out here and just do a Route 66 through California trip. That wasn't really the plan today.
The scale works.
Oh, cool, look at this old cash register. I wonder if that was made in Dayton. I wonder if NCR made that. Oh, they did, look. The National Cash Register Company. My sister will love seeing this. Satellite dish. This is cool, it just goes on forever. I don't see Elmer, so we're not gonna go bother him, but wow, pretty cool place. Oh, look at that. Marine Corps, deer antler, and a cuckoo clock. That's an old car door, but check this out. Look at the old stamp machine up there, that's pretty cool. And then the old Coca-Cola machines.
Tractor seat.
Let's get out of here before we have the mine danger. Thank you for visiting. No, thank you. That was a great trip. Yeah, don't miss coming out here and seeing Elmer's Bottle Ranch. That was super cool. And like I said, over 200 bottle trees. Fun for the whole family. Free and open to the public. Like I said, don't skip this one. This is very, very cool. And in case you were wondering, Elmer started that bottle ranch in 2000. Well, gang, Brooke and I are off to our next destination, and we're gonna call it a day for you guys. Have a great night. Come back and see me tomorrow and see how the rest of this day turned out. And I hope you enjoy this road trip. Daze with Jordan the Lying saying goodbye.